Uh, there's no reason to even BS. There's no script. There's no outline. I have a very good feeling that we are going to be able to have an hour-long episode today and not even realize it. So before we begin, to the left of me, as always, is Darnell, the Playmaker Silence. How are you doing this week, Darnell?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Let's go.
You know, I'm wary of even talking about results in a recap because let's be honest, like at this point, what does a TV match mean? Like we had two WWE Championship defenses this week. Kofi won both of them, as he should. I mean, the world title should not change hands on TV unless it's like a super drastic situation like Jinder Mahal facing Brock Lesnar at a Survivor Series and you realizing you're in way too deep. Or like the Monday Night Wars when Mankind won the WWF Championship, Eric Bischoff said it was going to happen at the beginning of Nitro, and everybody changed the channel anyway, even though it was pre-taped. Like very drastic situations, the world title should change on TV. But Darnell, I don't know if people caught what I just said. Kofi Kingston defended the championship on Monday Night Raw because there is a new rule. There's a new rule that, quite frankly, you know, you can go into all the rumors, you can go into all the ratings and everything like that. But Darnell, I think we finally hit the point. I think between Fox being very nigh, I think between the fact that they barely stayed above 2 million viewers when competing against an NBA playoff doubleheader, I think just because, you know, there's just a lot of negative feedback on the social media channels that they pride themselves on. Darnell, first off, do you think that the brand split is slowly coming to an end? And if so, when do you think it will officially be ended?
If it comes to a split, that means Fox backed out of the deal.
Now, are you saying this because it's like basically confirmed in public record that Fox wants their own stars? And that
Fox wants their stars. Because there's no way. Because if Fox didn't want the bland split, they never would have made WWE bring Andrade back to SmackDown after he was supposed to be going to Raw.
This is fair. That's fair. So, what? Because see, this is a very weird situation. This is why I say that, you know, all bets are off. I texted you this earlier. This is why I say, like, you know, this episode in particular, the result. It's what can we say? I mean, on one hand, we know the Revival wants to leave, right? And they win a championship so that they can be happy. That's WWE's way of, like, you know, recruiting them. Then it comes out that they get offered a six-figure, because we'll never know the exact numbers unless like a true like mainstream source gets some numbers from somebody. But they're 6 figures a year each, which for a tag team, that's really good money because you're always going to be in the mid card pretty much. And they turn that down. So we see the segment with the Usos, and Darnell, I'm a level with you. I watched this from beginning to end. And I did not know what was going on 1 second of that segment. All I knew was, wow, they really don't like the Revival right now. And all I could think to myself was, wow, what message does it send for the people who you're trying to negotiate with? Like, you want to throw money at me to get me to stay in catering for the next 5 years or being away from my family for 300 days. But that's how you people who just respectfully decline to resign with the company, just ride their contract out.
Even on a bigger issue, now we know why Leo Rush ain't been on TV.
Yeah, and what's even crazier is because I talked about this with my cousin Darnell. So let me break down this math, and you tell me if you follow it. Leo Rush has only been wrestling since 2015, and I don't mean he was in wrestling school, wrestled a couple years, then went to NXT and was in NXT for a while. Like, no, dude. He debuted for MCW in Maryland back in 2015. He won a tag team championship with Velveteen Dream before he was Velveteen Dream. he went from there, and that's like a really good, like, local level, regional level promotion, MCW. I mean, I don't think people are having like full-time gigs at that promotion, but it's good. They got a nice brand for themselves. They got a blue check on. He went from there, though, and he did like the American Indie circuit. I think the biggest American Indie Leo worked for on like a regular basis was CZW. Like, he held the CZW World Championship. He might have did some stuff for Ring of Honor. I can't remember. But when I say it was short, like, dude, it was short. I think Leo Rush got signed in like 2017. So he had only been on the Indies for 2 years. And one thing I can definitely say as somebody who knows a lot of people in the Indies and somebody who like did like social media and blogging for a couple of Indies, there's no money in the Indies. Like, damn near everybody in the Indies has a full-time job. So we have to consider the math that like Leo Rush was just budding in his career. But he was over, but he wasn't working for promotions where it's a full-time contract and he could pull back from those hours. So he's not really in like established in the wrestling industry, and he goes to developmental. So he's going to developmental, and this is before the AEW push. So developmental guys aren't getting like, really, really good indie career money like they are now. This is back when the dudes were probably making like, 5 figures, like mid 5 figures, if that. Goes to Orlando, all that good stuff, and he gets in trouble with the Emma thing. Do you remember the Emma thing, Darnell? Where he did a tweet where like she wasn't ready for Asuka when she got released?
I don't remember that one.
Okay, so he did a tweet where he was like, I guess Emma wasn't ready for Asuka because Emma's last match before she got released was against Asuka and she lost, and then he had like huge heat for that. So after that, he was basically like jobbing. He wasn't doing anything because he had heat, and he was in developmental. So Leo Rush is like 5'3" and $150, if that. So naturally, put him on 205 Live. You're screwed down here because you have all the indie guys and all the vets and gals down here. So you're screwed. This is shot. Let's put you on 205 Live. The problem with 205 Live, Darnell, is 205 Live is technically the main roster. It's a main roster brand, which means you have to do main roster travel. Now, he's still making developmental money probably. If they gave him a main roster bump, it's probably only a bump to cover the estimated expenses. It's not really money that's going to be going into his pocket. It's not a true raise. So he's on 205 Live, but 205 Live doesn't do house shows. So he's still okay. He's not even on 205 Live for a year, and then he becomes Bobby Lashley's manager. Now he's on Raw. Now he's doing matches on Raw. Now he's doing segments on Raw. Now he's going to house shows with Raw. Now he's traveling 5 days a week, and now you have to wonder what's the math on his books. Because in that Fightful interview that I think you might have been alluding to, but if not, this is what I'm alluding to. In the Fightful interview, he's saying that he's not getting royalties off of the T-shirts that Bobby Lashley has with his catchphrases on them. And he's also saying that he's going damn near broke from doing his hotel and rental cars 5 days a week. And it's getting to him. That makes it even weirder because he just got offered a 5-year, $300,000 thing. Again, numbers. But he just got offered 5 years, 6 figures, and he turned that down for double and says he might want to go back to the Indies to prove to WWE what he's worth. That whole situation in itself is confusing as hell to me, and that is a bad sign for a publicly traded company that prides itself on basically good business ethics. Because you have mid-carders who, let's be honest, the Revival, one of the members of the Revival are never going to be a major world champion. And there's a difference between being a world champion and a major world champion. I don't see Scott Dawson or Dash Wilder winning the Ring of Honor or IWGP World Heavyweight Championships once they leave WWE. I don't see Lee Rush winning the Ring of Honor World Championship from Jay Lethal, because Jay Lethal ain't exactly a huge heavyweight. I don't see these guys being major world champions, but maybe they are heavyweight champions somewhere not major. I know that's not the best way to say it grammatically, but I don't get it. I don't understand. Your ratings are in free fall, and now you have guys who we can barely call them mid-carders. You have guys who on the indies, they're not going to make half as much as what you're offering them to basically be one of the first on the first hour of a show, but they want to leave your company. Darnell, what does that say? You have a star like Sasha Banks who still hasn't come back. Still hasn't come back.
It's getting real.
It is because, you know.
And why all this going on, Money in the Bank, they got to go on. And then after that, there's a new promotion begins.
Yeah, in the same month. Like, let's, before we like go into like more of this week and the obvious signs of desperation that this week was the wild card rule, which is why I asked the question earlier about the brand split ending or whatever. I think the wild card rule is 4 superstars instead of 3.
It's 4
because of the segment.
Yeah, that was.
So it's 4 instead of 3. With that, I think this is pushing the line, but not in the, this is going to be good TV way. I think this is pushing the line because Fox has said, and Fox has shown and proven, that they want their own stars, and they want more storylines, and they want more of what made WWE a TV boom in the 90s. I think that the wild card rule, I'm curious now because Vince McMahon has done a lot of things that Fox has now been able to undo because they have that $2 billion check, which I guess now me and you can both conclude that isn't $2 billion guaranteed. This is a $2 billion with a pool. This is $2 billion over time. Because if this was $2 billion guaranteed, then Vince McMahon, it would be the classic Vince McMahon, just do what he wants, whether the ratings tank or not. But I think with the XFL coming about, this $2 billion can't be guaranteed. Because the superstar shakeup was like, 3 weeks ago?
Yep.
Then you undid the superstar shakeup because Fox wanted Andrade. And then because Fox wanted Andrade, you had to break up Ricochet and Aleister Black because the married couples rule. Then the week after that, which is technically the week before this one, I think there was something else. I think like Gallows and Anderson or something like that came over. And it's just like, dude, when is this going to end? When is this going to stop? Like, do you even know what you're doing at this point? Then when the dust superstar shakeup still hasn't even settled, when you still haven't fully established these are the rosters, you introduce the wild card rule. Like, basically, you did the social media angle over the weekend.
Yeah, like let's be for real. We knew something was up. Like, oh, really? Y'all really like trying to talk Roman Reigns out of not showing up to Raw on social media?
Yeah, like Roman Reigns is just randomly. Roman Reigns ain't been gone from Raw for 2 weeks. And he just randomly wants to show up to Raw.
We're gonna make Roman Reigns can't defy that. He can't go to Raw. You basically confirm he's coming to Raw.
Yeah, because first off, you're you. So Roman Reigns wouldn't do that unless he was going to defy what you said anyway. I mean, he's feuding with a McMahon right now. He's already feuding with a McMahon. But what made it suck was, okay, Roman, you're being a badass. You're gonna defy authority. You're gonna defy the official order. You're gonna walk in the ring with Vince McMahon in the ring. Okay, cool. Maybe we're gonna get that badass shield Roman Reigns. Okay, I'm with you. Then Vince McMahon says, "Wait a minute, I have an idea," and it's just like,
no. He did. He said, "I have an epiphany."
Oh, big words, Darnell.
This is after AJ Styles and Kofi Kingston all came out. Somebody else came out. I can't remember who.
And that's another thing. Like, why would Roman Reigns come out after all of them when he was the one that made the badass post that he was going to be at Raw?
First, he came out. The man was in the ring, and Roman Reigns came out. They didn't.
Okay, good. You're confused. But
AJ Styles ended up coming out. Kofi Kingston ended up coming out. The bad part is I had with it. The man whose show it is came out and wasn't really a part of the whole thing.
oh God, if you want to go even deeper with that, how about, because like I said, Darnell, results at this point just How about the fact that Seth Rollins was on the opening segment of his own show, was barely involved in this segment, then loses a match that happens right after the segment and gets pinned in the match by Baron Corbin. And then that's basically it for the rest of the show. The next time you see him is a backstage promo where he's mad at AJ Styles. And it's like, wait a minute, this is your show. Like, why don't you jump AJ backstage? Why don't you go hunt down AJ? Like, why isn't the rest of this show about you getting yours against AJ and hyping up this match in 2 weeks? All we get is a backstage promo, then the rest of the show is about Kofi? It's not even Kofi's show. This is supposed to be a former member of The Shield.
One member of the Shield has a WrestleMania rematch, and the WWE champion, who's on SmackDown, has a WrestleMania rematch. But another Daniel Bryan was on Raw too. That's who it was. He made his shocking return on Raw instead of SmackDown. I was like, really?
I know, like keeping it close to the vest, quote unquote. And oh God, like I said, what else can? What it's. More is going to be said. We're going to dive into this. That's why I'm just like the results. Damn the results. Because, I mean, the more we talk about the results, the more it's just going to be like, for example, Darnell. Another reason why I don't want to talk about the results that much this week. Shane McMahon was going to reward Daniel Bryan and Rowan with the tag team championships. Okay. Daniel Bryan is a top guy. Rowan, he was just SmackDown tag team champion, but he got hurt. Okay. With this. I'm okay. Build up your division from scratch. The Usos are on Raw. Gallows and Anderson are on Raw. The Revival's on Raw. Slater and Ryder. Hawkins and Ryder are on Raw. The Hardy Boys are hurt. Build up a tag team division from scratch. Have them beat a bunch of makeshift tag teams. Have one real tag team come along. Who knows? Maybe Ricochet comes over in the Wildcard and maybe they reunite that tag team. Who knows?
Yeah, dude. The kings of the tag team division on SmackDown came back.
but Darnell, this is the thing. The Kings came back, and they're official Raw superstars. So they're official Raw superstars on the second night of this wild card rule. And Raw superstars challenged for SmackDown championships. Mind you, the wild card rule got revised in the middle of the night before. Now, before the ink is even dry and we figure out what the hell is going on, you're establishing precedents that basically anybody can challenge for anything. Now,
I think one positive was handed it to him.
One positive I will say, first of all, you're right. You're not wrong. One positive I will say is if the Usos were able to challenge for a tag team championship, I'm not even going to go into the whole cynical fan, like, it's so obvious. They're on so Raw. Why would they win the belts? We knew they were going to win, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go into that. This better mean that every championship is fair game when somebody holds a briefcase. This better mean that, like, if Ricochet wins, or if, Jesus Christ, if Baron Corbin wins, they're not shackled to the brand that they're on. The Money in the Bank briefcase, having one briefcase, but the winner is shackled to their brand, I honestly think was a dumb idea. Because the Money in the Bank briefcase was supposed to be what freed a person and what got a person to the main event, no matter what title they challenged for. The Money in the Bank briefcase was supposed to be, it's time for me to move on up. CM Punk was on ECW when he won the championship. He cashed in on Raw, won the World Heavyweight Championship, became a Raw superstar. So I think that with this precedent, that is a positive. You could be as negative as you want, but if this means that the Money in the Bank briefcases can be cashed in on whoever, that's a good thing. Because we still don't know what's going to happen with Becky. We still don't know with the ratings tanking like this if having somebody on both shows is going to be the best.
This week. I don't remember seeing Becky this week.
Dude, that's another thing. It's like, no. She had a segment with Lacey. It wasn't a match, but it was a segment. It was after Lacey's match, wasn't it, on Raw?
I probably went back to watching the playoffs after I seen who she was fighting.
Yeah, you're not wrong. So that's probably exactly what happened. But I think she had a segment, not a show. But still, that's my point. Becky Lynch just main evented WrestleMania. Seth Rollins is the Universal Champion. He's your first full-time Universal Champion in literally almost 2 years because Roman had the belt for like a week and had to leave for it. Seth not being featured on his show, Becky not being featured on the show, but Kofi defending his championship in 2 main events back-to-back. This is coming from somebody who knew the significance of Kofi winning the belt. That being said,
by the way,
if the WWE champion is going to be the workhorse and the top guy, cool. But don't act like the Universal Championship is supposed to mean something. And don't act like you didn't just have the Women's Championship main event WrestleMania because you didn't trust your world champion to be a draw. Let's act like this is the aftermath of the previous WrestleMania. And let's act like we had 3 major baby faces win at WrestleMania. And that this initial push is supposed to be about them. Seth Rollins is defending against AJ Styles. That's a huge match. Becky Lynch is defending both her championships in one night when somebody's going to win a briefcase. That's a huge match. Kofi Kingston is about to go against Kevin Owens, who is already a former world champion. Kevin Owens is basically a tag team title away from being a Grand Slam champion. Who would have ever thought that when he was first signed, if you remember him as Kevin Steen on the Indies? These are 3 baby faces with 3 huge challenges ahead of them. And you have Raw stars challenging for SmackDown championships, and that was even more confusing because Kofi Kingston had a triple threat match on SmackDown against 2 Raw superstars.
I mean,
I'm not saying suspension of disbelief. I'm not saying that because I opened up with saying the world champion isn't supposed to lose unless it's something extreme. What I am going to say, though, is...
You know what they did do for me when it comes to the WWE Championship?
What?
They reestablished that is the top belt of the company. No matter what.
Bar none. Doesn't matter how much you like the Intercontinental Champion. Doesn't matter if a legend is United States Champion. Doesn't matter if a world title belt is on Raw. That belt is the company belt. It will always be the company belt. And whoever holds it better be ready to go anywhere at any time. I think that AJ Styles' last reign with the WWE Championship, not the placement on the card, but just the way he was booked. You have to be ready to be anywhere at any time. The WWE champion has to be the one guy in the company who is always going to say yes. And Kofi Kingston won a United States Championship the day his son was born, only to lose it at Extreme Rules to Dean Ambrose on the night the Shield was like legitimized and had their coming out party like a week and a half later. That was years back, but Kofi Kingston had already established he's the guy. He's not going to complain. He's going to do it. He's going to get any gimmick over. He's going to get any segment over. That's a workhorse. That's a baby face. That's a guy who needs to hold the belt. Hell, Jinder. We're not going to say like Jinder didn't have a bunch of defenses. We're not going to say I saw Jinder defend the damn belt in Pensacola. Like Jinder was everywhere, and Jinder didn't get hurt because that's one of the main things nowadays. Darnell, can you stay healthy? Can you stay healthy and make it through the push? Because that's a big thing now. People getting hurt. That wear and tear from the high-flying style that's popular now in pro wrestling, it's getting to people. But that being said, like, digging really, really, really deep, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you think the wild card is a desperation play from Vince McMahon, the person, as far as ratings and Fox and all that stuff goes.
Fox. Everything's turning back to Fox. Because Fox is not playing. And if y'all want some more ammo to help what I'm saying, Brock Lesnar got re-signed. Goldberg got re-signed.
Brock Lesnar retired from MMA. So you know how much money Vince was throwing at him.
Fox didn't pull it out yet. So October is still the mark.
Mm-hmm.
This Saudi Arabian event is in what, July?
Yeah. They actually got rid of Backlash for it.
Matter of fact, The Undertaker's back too.
He is.
You don't think Fox is getting events? Let's see the three legends he just re-signed. So trust me, Fox is on his ass. Are they concerned about AEW? A little bit, but what's there to be concerned about? Because they ain't even done nothing yet. Don't even know what it's going to look like when the 25th hit. All thing you see for AEW is spaces and names. That's it.
Yeah, because I mean, let's be real for a second, Darnell. I mean, you know, you're now in charge of a brand that you're growing. You're putting money into the podcast. You're putting money in like new things that will be announced later. You're putting money into like revamping your own personal image. And I'm a small business owner, so we have some sort of, you know, experience with the cost of trying to get something off the ground and the hope and the return that we hope we get on our investment. Right now, all AEW has done is sign a bunch of contracts that they have to pay that money for, as long as that person's on the roster. Right now, a bunch of people are about to get paid for shows where we don't know how much money they're going to make from these shows. AEW is supposed to announce a TV deal, but the only things I've heard about a TV deal is a pay-to-play, which means that AEW is going to pay even more money to get on a network where I should get on the product. Because let's be honest, I mean, you know how much you have to rely on wrestling fans, just TV watchers in general. You know how much you have to rely on TV watchers in general to have a pay-per-view only show model? To basically say, we're going to rely on live attendance. We're going to rely on merchandise from Pro Wrestling Tees. And we're going to rely on pay-per-view buys in 2019 to make the money back for all the contracts that we've signed and for all the marketing and promotion that we've done. Now look, Tony Khan is the son of a very successful businessman. And I think that in pro wrestling, you have either one of two guys that can be the quote unquote promoter. You have to have a very successful businessman, or you have to have somebody who's been in the wrestling business for so long, they just get it. Cody, you forget how young Cody is. Cody's in his 30s. I don't even think Cody went to college. I think Cody was in the WWE system like in his early 20s, maybe 19. Cody's been in the business for a long time, and he was raised up in the business, but putting out something that you're already saying is supposed to compete with WWE, be an alternative. Once you draw that line in the sand, that's why Vince McMahon hasn't drawn that line in the sand with the NFL. He's done things like say that there will be a fine if you don't stand for the national anthem. He's done things like, you know, announce all the networks they're going to be on. He's done things where, like, on the sly, he's saying, we might compete, we might not. We're going in spring. So the NFL has nothing to worry about. We're playing spring football. We're playing fall football. You know, apples and oranges. But Cody Rhodes and AEW put that line in the sand. That being said, okay. You've got some disgruntled mid-carders. You've got a company that signed a bunch of indie names and did a couple press conferences and sold out a show in Chicago. WWE. You're on cable twice a week, and you have your own streaming network. We're one of the biggest promotions on the planet. It's the only way we can see it. They're very worried about this promotion. It's almost like they're more worried about AEW than the fact that Fox is gonna cancel them if they don't get these ratings up. Man, a season of WWE, Darnell, is technically WrestleMania to WrestleMania. WrestleMania to WrestleMania is what you can kind of sort of put as a season of WWE television. So, dude, if they go WrestleMania to WrestleMania and keep going the way they're going and drop below $2 million, dude, Fox is going to drop them. They're already thinking of moving them to Friday, which is already going to kill them. Because, dude, if you can't get people to watch a 2-hour show on a Tuesday night, because we're both filming, what are you doing on Tuesday nights? You're doing church, right?
Yep.
So if you weren't a very religious man like you are, what else would you be doing on Tuesday night?
Right now, going back and forth between the playoffs and wrestling.
But either way, you're at home watching TV if you don't have a higher duty to respond to. It's Tuesday. Dude, the work week just started. What are you talking about going out? For what? You gotta go to work in the morning. It's Monday. You are so far away from the end of the work week. So if you can't get people to tune in to the 2-hour show when there's nothing to do on a Tuesday, what are you supposed to do on a Friday? And if you're Fox, I mean, you've paid $2 billion. You've pledged $2 billion on your angel contract. So you want what you want, and you want to get what you want. But at the same time, you got to be realistic. How many marquee shows are there out there that come on Friday nights? Like, how many famous shows we could think of where not a rerun, not syndication, they actually came or come on Friday nights? I think Miami Vice was one. But that was back in the 80s. Well, no, he was doing cocaine in the 80s. So, nah, we can count Miami Vice. Because, yeah.
I mean,
Other than that, you got to go back to like the 80s or something. Friday night TV is not a thing.
Oh no, that's the go out day.
Yeah, that's the blow off steam. That's the soon as I get off of work. That's to arrange the date with your lady or your dude, whatever you're into. And Saturday is college football day. So if your lady or dude likes to watch football with you, cool beans. Go get some lunch together. Go to the sports bar. If you got kids, that's where you go Pop Warner and soccer and all that stuff. And then Sunday's church. But Friday night is for sure like the day where it's like, okay, I'm going out, I'm blowing off steam, all that good stuff. And you're going to put a show that's struggling to keep ratings up. WWE is already posting the lowest ratings in history. So we already know this is the worst WWE has ever been off rip. Then you're going to put it on Friday nights. This is one of those things where it's like, okay, now you got to be realistic, Fox. This is your fault that you put up a $2 billion bid. Vince McMahon is supposed to say no to $2 billion? Like, if somebody bids $500,000 for this podcast as it is right now, that's kind of hard to say no to. I mean, who the hell else will get $500,000 from with the state of the podcast right now? So Vince McMahon having the lowest ratings he ever had, somebody bid $2 billion, that's their fault. That's not their fault. They signed up for a bad investment, and now they're trying to figure out how the freak they could fix it.
It's rough, and they need to focus on the week coming because it's the go home week. So that's what they're gonna need to do. But some more rough things happen in WWE. I didn't catch any of this, but I caught a clip from a backstage segment.
So it begins.
Your boys are exploding.
So it begins.
This must be rough from you, man.
The only reason it's truly rough is because it confuses me. Like, we don't really have anybody on the main roster. And now you're breaking up. Now, see, breakup is also a strong word because maybe it's just Roderick Strong. Because Roderick Strong was already an extra member because Bobby Fish was hurt. Now Bobby Fish is like, A-OK 100%. And it's like, yeah, 4-man stable with the wild card rule and with, the lack of TV time, quote unquote. Four dudes is hard. Because the way they booked the Johnny Gargano match, and this is another reason why I'm kind of starting to have like questions about what Triple H is really doing in NXT as far as the developmental aspect of it. Johnny Gargano was like 5'8", 190. He kicked out of a plethora of finishers. Hit one finisher, tapped out Adam Cole. I mean, the entire stable came out. Johnny Gargano just kicked out of everything. Triple H knows good and damn well on the main roster, Johnny Gargano is not going to kick out of 8 finishers. Hell, even Kofi only kicked out of 3 Blue Thunder Bombs, and that's not even Sami Zayn's finisher. That's his signature move. It ain't like he kicked out of 3 Haluva kicks in 3 different corners. So
that would have been interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Sami Zayn hasn't won a damn thing on the main roster. The only thing he's won in WWE was the NXT Championship, and he dropped it as soon as Shinsuke Nakamura debuted. So I
give him credit though.
Huh?
You go from getting dumped in the trash and getting hauled out by a trash dumpster in 1C, and coming back the next night and get a shot at the WWE Championship. I must say, very impressive.
I didn't even want to mention that because I honestly didn't want to, be that fan. But like, there's no sense of finality. Like, you're feuding with Braun Strowman getting dumped in the trash can one night. Another night, you're in a WWE Championship match. That part leaves me speechless. That part I really don't even want to even try to begin to touch. But even still, so with Undisputed Era, going back to them, I think 4 is a crowd. 3 can still be a party because Red Dragon is one of the best tag teams in the world. We just forgot about that because Bobby Fish, Undisputed Era was just so daggone entertaining. So now we're at a point where we can step back and say, oh, okay, well, if Roderick Strong leaves, Roderick Strong is Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong turns babyface and leaves Undisputed Era. Imagine that feud. Imagine that feud between him and Adam Cole, because even though Red Dragon is loyal to Adam Cole and Undisputed Era, Roderick Strong is their buddy too. So that's one of those things where it's like, you guys handle it. We're Undisputed Era forever, but you guys handle it. That makes it interesting because that takes out the whole, well, who's going to interfere for who thing. I think that just lets Adam Cole and Roderick Strong have one of the best matches of the year if it's built right. Because if I remember correctly, Darnell, please correct me if I'm wrong, because I am confused about this. The next TakeOver is going to be a standalone, right? That's why they're calling it TakeOver 25, right? Okay.
I need to look up.
All right, well, while you're doing that, so that's definitely a match that's going to fill out that card. Velveteen Dream and Dijak is going to be another one. But I remember saying that I hope Undisputed Era isn't called up. It's weird because I was half right because DIY got called up and it aggravated Tommaso Ciampa's injury. But they were going to keep DIY together and make them a babyface tag team. Whereas on NXT, they were breaking up and they were heels. So maybe that was a bullet dodged because as far as NXT goes, I feel like another thing about developmental should be eventually your tag team is going to break up and you need to know how to do that angle on a WWE level. So it sucks, but I'm cool with it because I don't think the Undisputed Era is just going to completely implode. And at the end of the day, let's be real, we're always going to have Red Dragon. Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly came into WWE together as a team.
All right. So TakeOver 25 will be on June 1st.
So it is
and that's on a Saturday.
Okay. Okay. So as that Velveteen Dream's national anthem was last week. But yeah, that's that. But
so the Raiders forfeited the titles.
Ooh. Oh, that is a terrible way to do that. Oh, that's a. Let me. You know what? Let me just give us some filler, darn it, while I look that up.
Now I'm looking at it right now. It says relinquished the titles due to a recent television taping. So there'll be 4 teams battling from what they're predicting. There are 4 teams going to battle it out. It'll be Undisputed Era, Street Profits, Forgotten Sons, and Loken and Brunch. So we got tag titles being vacated left and right now.
That is hilarious.
And by the way, the Forgotten Sons jumped the Raiders on NXT.
Finally pushing that team, huh?
So,
because
that's what they're predicting right now. So
because in developmental they're baby faces, but on the main roster they're heels who don't even carry the championships. Because that's just what you do. That's just what you do. So Darnell, looking about a week. Their time left. Looking ahead, because if you go home week, the most important pay-per-views of the year. This is the pay-per-view that establishes who your next stars are going to be, at least for this year. This establishes who will be the guy that dropped Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. This establishes who is going to help Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Bayley carry this division. The go-home week, with the wild card rule and the desperation and the bad TV. What do you think is going to happen go home week? The exact segments doesn't have to be like word for word, line for line, bar for bar, but like what do you overall
I'm gonna go to what happened on Tuesday night.
Okay.
Two participants in the Money in the Bank match both took RKOs. Nasty RKOs. So how does that respond? And matter of fact, Finn Balor wasn't even there. And plus, with this wild card thing in play now, either these 8 competitors gonna jump up to the other brand for a night?
No.
I would love to see Drew McIntyre pop up on SmackDown and send a message.
Makes you wonder.
I'm looking for both Money in the Bank matches participants from the men's and women's to be very impactful on go home week.
Is that it?
Yep.
I think definitely Money in the Bank participants in both matches. I agree with you, but like to a higher extent. Like I think Money in the Bank ladder match participants, it's about to be chaos between them. I think that either by way of promo, by way of matches, by way of like just brawls breaking down, definitely think Money in the Bank participants are going to draw their line in the sand to get in that briefcase. I would hope they're featured because this pay-per-view is really about them. World titles in this pay-per-view honestly don't matter because it's somebody getting the same night cash-in effect. With that, obviously, I think that the things last week with Kofi were cool. That was all well and good, but Kevin Owens needs to establish the fact that he's going for blood on Sunday. AJ Styles needs to establish the fact that, because another thing with AJ Styles is, dude, this is your title match. Baron Corbin and Payne the champion. You're on SmackDown saying this is your house that you got a world title match for the other brand. Character-wise, that's odd to me. So they really have to establish the fact that Seth Rollins and AJ Styles are going to have a first-time ever dream match, and they're going to have it for a world championship on pay-per-view. They really got to drive that home. And with Becky Lynch and Charlotte didn't do anything that I can remember. So we really have to establish the peril of this I'll fight anybody hero babyface is going to go up against an 8-time women's champion and an upstart, an NXT upstart, who is completely fresh. I mean, she hasn't been wrestling. She's only been wrestling for the past couple of weeks. So you're going up against this super fresh young gun and this super experienced legend in the same night. And somebody's going to have a briefcase. So I think we really got to just establish the fact that, no matter what the ratings for this TV show bring in, let's not even tease people with the prospect of a title change, because everybody is up on game. Everybody kind of sort of knows how this all works now. A title match before a pay-per-view like this is kind of, don't insult my intelligence. I think the Samoa Joe and Rey Mysterio thing, I think having Dominic be involved and having Samoa Joe deliver that message, I think that's a great opportunity for Rey to do the whole "don't talk to my son ever again" thing. I think that's something that can really drive that match in. Because, I mean, Rey got hurt. He had no choice but to do the squash match. But the U.S. title it hasn't felt like anything. That title hasn't felt like anything for a long, long time. And the match that these two could have, the bad blood, like Samoa Joe could be boiling up by threatening Dominic and following him across the locker room, that can make that match good. I don't even know who Finn is facing. Who is Finn? No, Finn's in the Money in the Bank ladder match. That's who he's facing. He's trying to get a briefcase. So, other than that, I'm just, driving home these feuds because WWE has had a habit lately of too many rematches. I want to feel like going into the pay-per-view, these are rematches. You got rid of the automatic rematch clause, and we've had more rematches than ever. Don't get how that makes sense. But I just hope that we feel like this is a go-home week. I just hope that we feel like a pay-per-view is going to be next Sunday, because with the Wildcard rule and the Superstar breakup basically never being completed and basically just being erased, I just need to feel some sort of stability and excitement. That's all I'm really looking for. I mean, Money in the Bank is now pretty much an unofficial Big Five pay-per-view. It's pretty much one of those pay-per-views now where it's like you have the traditional Survivor Series match at SummerSlam. You have the main event of WrestleMania. You have the Royal Rumble match, the title main event of WrestleMania at Royal Rumble. And you have the major feuds that stem from WrestleMania's matches at SummerSlam. And now you have the Money in the Bank matches at Money in the Bank because they took away the Money in the Bank matches from WrestleMania. So this is one of those pay-per-views where it's like, dude, this means something. This is one of those serious pay-per-views. And yeah, officially a Big Five. It's kind of like soccer. It's kind of like MLS. Some people like to consider MLS the 5th major league in North America. But other people are like, yeah, I don't know about that. And that's how Money in the Bank is. So I understand why I feel like we have a major pay-per-view coming up, Darnell, but I feel like Money in the Bank should hold significance. But we'll see. We see. Any final plugs or monologues you want to do, Darnell?
If you didn't catch it yesterday, catch it today. Me, myself, Ken, a couple of offensive assets guys, we talked about the playoffs. So, I want to get you another basketball episode. Go check that out. We had a lot of fun.
Okay. I mean, this month, everybody, we know it. This month is basically the final countdown. This is before the young, valiant, upstart hero promotion goes into battle against the big, evil, giant Elias. Everybody better start putting their money where their mouth is. Double or Nothing to be a really, really good show. The performers who have these contracts, the performers who are getting equal pay to their counterparts, everybody better make everything worth it, because this is the best you're going to catch WWE. WWE wasn't even in this state of peril before the WWE first started. WWE just literally took fans away. So for all the fans who say WWE sucks, I'm tired of watching, I'm never going to watch again, you better pay that $35 for Double or Nothing. Don't bootleg it. Don't stream it. Buy it. Buy it and support it. If you are going to bootleg it, at least buy a shirt. Pick a favorite off the roster and buy a shirt from the wrestler. Do something to actually support that promotion, because look, a lot of people are in denial. A lot of people are stuck in the past. A lot of people say, back in the Attitude Era, this would have never happened in the Attitude Era, but remember what brought up the Attitude Era. Remember the things that had to happen for your present Attitude Era to come into existence. You want the product to improve? You want Vince McMahon to stop having pipe dreams of having a successful football league that competes with the NFL? You want Vince McMahon to, drop the sticks and give them to a Triple H, or shoot, even a Stephanie McMahon, and let her have a shot? She's been around the game just as long. You guys, you changed Impact. You let Impact die a slow death. Now Impact is on Twitch. Ring of Honor is owned by Sinclair Broadcasting. They're on a ton of broadcast TV channels, but you never let it get over that hump. The fans have to start taking some responsibility and realize there's a reason why certain promotions still sit at that level. Ring of Honor and New Japan had to partner to do that MSG show. Guarantee you, as much as they have a working relationship together, guarantee you, as much as that working relationship works out for both parties, if either party did MSG by themselves, they would have. And they should. But they're not going to do an MSG by themselves if the fans don't actually man up and pick a side. So, Money in the Bank should be the last chance. Money in the Bank is WWE's last chance. They're desperate. They're doing Wildcard rules. They're trying to beef up things for Fox and all that good stuff. It's bad. It's bad. And it's probably going to be even worse. But they have the go-home week and the pay-per-view to convince you as a consumer if you should support this product when there's going to be another toy in town to play with. They should have another pay-per-view to convince you as a consumer when you can say, well, on Friday nights on Twitch. Well, anytime I open up the Pluto TV app. Well, anytime I go on ringofhonor.com and watch a TV show that was already recorded. I mean, it's up to you. It's up to us. So here's looking at WWE and here's looking at AEW, because both promotions are in do or die mode. If Double or Nothing somehow flops, Nothing somehow presents something that will be unsustainable and that crowds will get tired of quick. I don't know. I guess that just means that we're going to have to wake up at 2 a.m. and watch New Japan all the time. But we'll figure that out when we get there. Have a good week, everybody. And as always, fuck the Tennessee Titans.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.